Okay, I created 3 planes and 3 sketches on each plane. On the example in the online doc, all 3 shapes were the exact same size. On this particular example, just to do something different, I made them different sizes, but similar shape. Okay? So after creating these 3 shapes, I'm realizing it's too close. One of the reasons why I like to create the planes or the 3 sketches on 3 separate planes is if I want to move one, I can. So I can double click this and move it from 3 to, let's say, 6. And maybe I'll change this one to 5. And I'll change this one to 4. So they're not even evenly spaced, they're just kind of all over, and they're not even the exact same shape. I'm going to switch this to generative shape design, and what is this? We're going to go to surface, and I'm going to do 3 extrusions. I'll just make that 5 inches long. Wish I could get this to stop doing that. I'll just keep it the same length and reverse the direction on this one. So you got 3 different shapes, but similar and different distances from each other from the origin plane. And I could even make them different lengths just for fun. Okay. Now let's say I wanted to create a surface that could connect all 3 of these. Well, in the old days I'd create a curve from this point to this point. Anybody remember from 193 how I created a curve from this point to this point?
Connect curve?
Yes, do a ton of the connect curves. So I do this connect curve, select that point, select this, a nightmare. Connect curve, let's try and grab this line. Oh, it's not even letting me get that. See, what I would have to do is, since it's not letting me grab that edge, I would have to I'm looking for a boundary curve. Where is boundary curve? Why don't I see my boundary curve in here?
Transform.
Oh.
In the transform bar.
They trick me every time. Oh, wait, not that one. Oh, here it is.
It's the thing that looks like a book, kind of.
Right there.
Boundary curve. I got to throw a boundary curve on this one, and then I want to use no tangent continuity. That will give me just one line there. Another boundary curve over here. Select OK. And then I can go to wireframe, connect curve, and grab this line. Let's see if I can just grab this boundary. What? What a nightmare. And then select point and grab this point. Why are you not letting me grab that point?
Make everything in extract.
God, I got to go extract that edge then. Okay, so you get the point. This would be a nightmare trying to build this.
Yeah.
So I'm looking for a conjunction, and I'm not going to find it. because it's under a tab called Morphing. Now, there's a way to add Morphing here, and then to add those features for Morphing, but I could also just as easily go to 3D and find the one called Generative Shape Morphing. And under the tab Morphing, you have the first one, Conjunction. Under Conjunction, I'm going to grab one of my boundary curves here, and then this one to lock it as my supporting surface to hold tangency. Boundary curve and surface, boundary curve and surface. See all these green curves? You would have had to do your connect curves to do all of those. Build one surface here, one surface here, build one surface here, build a surface on the top, and then use the join command to do all of those. Or you use morphing like I just did and select OK, and that is how I can create a conjunction for 3 surfaces merging into one. Did I sell you on the beauty and the ease of how nice that conjunction feature is?
Pretty nice.
Can you tell me, is there a practical application you guys can think of for needing this kind of type of feature?
Yeah, maybe like tubing or something, or hydraulics, or
Okay.
you
Looks
know.
like something we'd have for. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
That's all right.
Go ahead, Sarah.
I said, kind of looks like something. We have these giant ass ovens at my work, and those look like something that would be used to connect between or
Yeah,
the dampers or
exactly.
something.
Anytime you got something connecting, it could be ducting or vents, right? Anything
Yeah.
else come to mind?
Yeah, I was gonna say like HVAC stuff. Maybe.
Okay, yeah, definitely. So let's say you had 2 windows side by side. Like this would be a window and this is a window over here. Can you see a purpose for that now? You got 2 windows on these corners and you got a junction here in between that. I think they do a lot of that in the auto industry, okay? Any other comments on that? Okay, so in your exercise, that was this one, okay? So that's a 3-way junction. You can apply that same application. I want you to make something that looks like this for a 4-way junction. And then we're going to get crazy where we're going to make an actual solid from your 4-way junction. That's 0.039 thick. Damn it. And then, okay, what toolbar was used to create the solid? The toolbar in V5 is called body in white. Can you guys note that? Body in white. That's this toolbar right here, body in white template.
That answer is supposed to be body and white.
Yeah, body in white.
I just went and did a thick surface.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I just went to part design and did a 0394 thick surface.
Yeah, that's exactly what you have to do. Scratch that because it's one step in part body. I don't know what I was thinking. I gave you the answer for this. The answer for this is a solid. So anytime you want to create a solid, what workbench do you have to go to?
Part design.
Yes. The number one mistake made here is people go right to offset under transformation. They use this offset command. But that's not going to give you thickness. That's just going to give you another surface offset at a certain distance, okay? So what Marcus just said was to make a solid of it that's that thick, you have to go to the part design workbench using a part body to generate a solid. And what was the name of what's called a toolbar is now the, what is this bottom row called?
Features.
Yeah. What feature did we use in part design to make a solid?
Go to model and go to thick surface.
Okay, so we use the tab model and you find the one called thick surface. Under thick surface, it's warning me because I didn't do what first?
make the part body the in-work object.
What's the in-work object right now?
Oh, do you need to join it first too?
Oh, that's correct. Oh, good call. What's my in-work object right now?
Metric set.
The junction 1 would be your,
No, the geometrical set is the in-work object. I know that because it's underlined.
yeah.
The part body is not underlined. That's why I got that warning. Okay. If I make this the in-work object and I hit thickness, I won't get that error. Okay. So we'll go back to 3D and back to generative shape design. And what were you saying I have to do first?
Select the whole thing and join it.
And that's under the transform tab.
Yeah. Yes.
And
That
this
one.
icon right here, the first icon is called join. Okay, so we're going to join the 3 extruded surfaces I created and the conjunction it created for me. So all I have to do here is select join, and I'm going to use my shift command. Oh, that didn't work. Let me see. I'm going to use my shift command and my control command to grab all 4 elements, and then I'm going to try and hit join. All the elements are right here that are going to be joined together. I'll select OK, and that makes that surface one joined surface. Now, the reason why it went in my part body is why?
Because you're going to make it into a solid.
Yeah, because the part body was the in-work object. Okay. Now, all of these are
You know what? From right here, does that have to be federated?
Yes. Very good call. Under no fed, we change that to federate. All.
Oh.
And you'll see a little yellow F in the tree on the federate. And when I say little f, I mean that's a little f, right?
Could you
barely
could
see
you
it.
take like could you take like a couple of seconds just to explain the federated and non-federated?
Okay, I'm going to hit undo, and I'm going to click the join. No, I'm going to put my cursor on this surface and see how it's recognizing them as like multiple pieces.
Yeah.
Let me try and federate this.
That makes it one. Okay. I knew I had to do it, but I didn't know exactly why.
Federate all.
After you join, it's still
Select
multiple
OK.
surfaces.
Now see how it's going to be one thing?
Yeah.
I honestly, when I build solids and split to and all that, I've tried both ways. I don't see any differences other than the fact that when I put my cursor on it, it's doing something a little different instead of each individual piece. But some companies might mandate you have that in federate. So that's basically what I find federate's about. Okay. Now that I have it federated, under 3D, I can switch back to part design and use this join to do my thick surface. And I'm just going to leave it as its default, except I'm going to go inverse the other direction. Select OK. And then I'm going to hide my geometrical set. Now, most people will tell you you should keep the join in the geometrical set, because when I go to hide everything, I don't want that join and that thickness fighting each other, trying to show, and then having to come hide the join so I can just see my solid. Okay, so undo. I can try and drag and drop this into the geometrical set. But it's not going to let me now that I've created it. I might have to actually delete the surface and then try and drop it, and it's still not letting me drop. Okay, so I'll delete that out and demonstrate the join one more time. Now, there's multiple ways you can do this. I just kind of like to use my control button to turn these off, have them already picked. I see that it's already blue. That's what I want to join. I want to make sure the geometrical set is in the in-work object. sometimes the feature join might be there for me to use. In this case, it's not. I have no choice then but to go to the generative shape design. While I'm in the generative shape design, to make sure the geometrical set is the define work object, and actually that should be named construction geometry. With no spaces. I'll highlight everything using Shift and the Control button to get rid of the boundaries, and then go back to Join. With these 4 elements here, I can select OK to join those elements. Again, I didn't federate, so I double click on that. Don't forget to activate all for your federate. Now I have all one entity. I'm going to make the part body the in-work object. I'm going to go to 3D. Select part design. Again, with part design as the in-work object. Under the tool model, we find thick surface. And what it's doing is it's taking a surface and adding thickness to the surface. I'm going to click on that, and I'll click the join right off the tree. I'm going to invert the arrows. Key in whatever thickness you want, select OK. And the main reason why we create everything in the geometrical set is if I want to see just a solid, I hide the geometrical set. If I need to see the geometry I used to create it, I just unhide the geometrical set. You don't want to hide the individual elements. I don't want to hide the join. That would just mean 2 steps to get the join back out. Okay, so typically we don't hide this unless the CATIA is hiding it as it's building it, but we don't go hide anything. We just hide things by using right click, hide, and hide your construction geometry. Okay, so that is how I made the solid. And this part's really fun. These 2 shapes here are not even the same as these 2 over here. Do you see that? So it's a 4-way junction, but yet I was able to get it to create a junction in between, even though the shapes were not all identical or similar in shape. Okay. And then this one I have a video in Canvas to go through and try. The problem is the slots and the holes don't work anymore. It used to be a beautiful feature in the body in white template, and if someone figures it out, let me know. But this icon right here on V5, you could just add holes and slot real easy using that feature. Okay. All right, that's going to conclude my demo on the body in white stuff.